Before we begin, a few important words. This recording is intended for relaxation, personal development, and general well-being. It is not therapy, it is not medical treatment, and it is not a substitute for professional care from a licensed healthcare provider. No specific results are promised or guaranteed. Every person's experience is unique, and what you take from this session is entirely your own. If you are dealing with a medical condition, a mental health concern, or are currently receiving treatment of any kind, please continue to work with your healthcare provider. This recording is meant to complement your well-being, never to replace professional guidance. Hypnosis recordings, while effective for many people, are not a replacement for working one-on-one with a trained and highly skilled clinical hypnotherapist. If you are dealing with a specific issue and would like personalized help, I invite you to visit phobiafree.life and schedule a free consultation with a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Before we begin, this recording contains hypnosis. Please do not listen to this while driving, operating machinery, or doing anything that requires your full attention. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you can simply relax, undisturbed, for the duration of this session. If at any time you need to be fully alert, you can simply open your eyes, take a deep breath, and return to full waking awareness immediately. Find yourself in a comfortable position now. And you don't need to do anything in particular, just allow your body to settle the way it naturally wants to when given permission to simply be still. You might notice the weight of your body against whatever is supporting you right now. And isn't it interesting how you never really noticed that support before, and yet it was always there? Your eyes can remain open, or they may find their own way to close, and some people find their eyes closing almost before they expect them to, and that's perfectly fine, because your unconscious mind always knows exactly what it needs. With each breath you take, you don't even have to try to relax, because relaxation isn't something you do, it's something you allow, and your body already knows how. Perhaps you notice a gentle heaviness beginning in your shoulders, or maybe it starts somewhere else entirely. It doesn't matter where it begins, only that it spreads slowly, naturally, the way warmth spreads through your hands on a cold day, without any effort at all. And as that comfortable feeling continues to deepen, your mind may begin to drift a little, the way it does in those moments just before sleep, when thoughts become softer, less urgent, more like clouds passing than anything requiring your attention. You don't need to follow every word I say. In fact, your unconscious mind is already doing exactly what it needs to do, and your conscious mind is welcome to rest. With every breath out, just a little more comfortable, a little more settled, a little more yours. And when you're ready, we can go somewhere quite wonderful together. A boundary is not a wall. I want to be very clear about that because most people avoid setting boundaries because they think boundaries push people away. They don't. Walls push people away. Boundaries actually let people in on your terms. A boundary is simply this. Here is where I end and you begin. Here is what I'm willing to accept, and here is what I'm not. Here is how much of myself I can give without depleting what I need to function. That's not selfish. That's architecture. Even the most beautiful house needs walls, not to keep people out, but to create a space that's safe to live in. And right now, your house doesn't have enough walls. People walk in and out without knocking. They take things without asking. They rearrange your furniture and expect you to thank them for it. And you've been allowing it, not because you want to, but because somewhere along the way you were taught that having needs makes you difficult. That saying no makes you unkind. That protecting your own space is selfish. None of that is true. And tonight, your body is going to learn the difference between being kind and being walked on. First, your feeling. What would it feel like to have clear, healthy, respected boundaries? Maybe it's safety, maybe it's control, the good kind where you're in charge of your own space. Maybe it's self-respect, maybe it's just the feeling of being able to say, this is mine, and having that be enough, whatever your word is. Find a time you felt it. Maybe it was a time you drew a line and held it. Someone pushed and you didn't move, not with aggression, with calm clarity. And the feeling wasn't conflict, it was peace. The peace of knowing exactly where you stand. Or maybe it was a time you walked away from something that wasn't serving you. A job, a relationship, a commitment. And even though it was hard, every step away felt lighter. Because you'd finally stopped giving away pieces of yourself that you needed to keep. Or maybe it was a moment with someone who respected your limits naturally. Someone who never pushed, never guilted, never tested. And you realized, this is what healthy feels like. This is what respect looks like from the inside. Or your own moment. Find that feeling. Let it return. Feel it in your body, particularly in your core, your center, because boundaries come from the center. They're not built from the outside in. They radiate from the inside out. And when your center is strong, the boundary is clear without you ever having to raise your voice. Let it grow. Let it define the edges of your space, not a prison, a home, a space that is yours, where your rules apply, where your comfort matters, where what you need is not a negotiation, it's a given. Now, here's what most people don't realize about boundaries. They think boundaries are about controlling other people. They're not. Boundaries are about defining yourself. You can't control what other people do, but you can decide what you'll accept. And there's a profound difference between you need to stop doing that and I'm not willing to be around that behavior. The first one tries to change them. The second one honors you. And the people who respect you, genuinely respect you, will respect your boundaries, not because you force them, because they care about you enough to care about your limits. And the people who don't respect your boundaries, they were never respecting you in the first place. The boundary just made it visible. And that feeling, amplify it now. Double it. Let your center become so clear, so defined, and so strong that your boundaries are obvious without you ever having to announce them. The way a well-fenced property doesn't need a guard. The fence is enough. People see it. They respect it, naturally. Double it again. And you might try right now to imagine someone crossing your boundary, pushing where they shouldn't push, taking what isn't theirs to take. And notice how your body responds, not with panic, not with people pleasing, but with a calm, firm no, not angry, not guilty, just no. The way a mountain says no to the wind, not by fighting it, by being unmovable. Now, imagine a relationship in your life, any relationship, where the boundaries have been unclear. And imagine approaching that person calmly, with love, even, and saying what you need. Not what they should do, what you need. And feeling, not guilty, but proud. Because this is what self-respect looks like in action. This is what honoring yourself sounds like out loud. And the relationship, the real one, underneath the dysfunction, gets better, not because the boundary created distance, because the boundary created clarity, and clarity is the foundation of every healthy connection. And each boundary you set, each time you choose yourself without abandoning others, the skill gets stronger, the guilt gets quieter, the clarity gets sharper, until boundaries aren't something you struggle with, they're just how you live. And now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And you can choose. Open your eyes, clear, centered, and ready to define your space, or drift into sleep, your unconscious mind building the architecture of a life with healthy, loving, firm boundaries. Whatever you choose is exactly right. 1. Your center is strong. Your space is yours. 2. Boundaries are not walls. They're the architecture of self-respect. 3. Coming up or going deeper, the clarity stays. 4. Almost there. Clear, strong, loving, firm. 5. Eyes opening, centered and clear, or eyes closing deeper, the boundaries setting, solid and kind, all night. Whichever you chose, your space is yours, and you never have to apologize for protecting it.